first, and that, in sum and substance, is the essential terms of the contract, Mr. Mayor.
Michael, any questions on this?
No.
Marilyn, do you have any questions?
Yeah, I just want to double check something. I'm sorry, I think I have an old version of this that I printed off tonight. Can you say the thing about Cooper's End, about going there?
Read it right from the agreement.
Yeah, I think I printed.
There was a new one sent this afternoon.
What?
There was a new one emailed this afternoon, did you get it?
Said,
No, I did not get the new one this afternoon.
David Cohn of the law firm of Cooper, Safer & Cohn shall be retained as special legal counsel to represent the 6 villages and the Board of Police Commissioners with respect to compliance with the civil service regulations and the labor negotiations with the PVA, to obtain the necessary concessions to enable the continued police protection services for the village pursuant to the retainer agreement annexed here to and made in part hereof, and that retainer agreement provides that Mr. Cohn would pay at an hourly rate of $300 per
I
hour.
wasn't sure if I thought, somehow I thought this was going to be that this,
Mark this as an execution copy.
I'm not touching it. I'm just
They're all execution copies.
Okay, I thought that it was being paid out of the police budget, not out of the, it wasn't going to be an individual. It should be paid out of the police budget, okay.
All of the changes that you and I discussed have been put in. Not only is that put in Maryland,
I saw that it was pursuant to those statutes.
Yeah,
I saw that, but it's still, we're still ignoring the 305 for these old book bills.
that's not, that's being deferred.
Stayed in there.
And then you also wanted the retainer agreement to be signed by all the villages, which is not being signed.
Right, so it isn't just our responsibility.
Started changing things. Very clearly.
What about that? You want to say that what put one because we're agreeing with that, because of the fact that it was important now for Brookville and make sure.
Well, more consideration for that particular bill.
Exactly. I think that.
I think it's safe to say that's the only.
It is the only reason I wanted to come back to bite us. It was what, well, why can't it be stated that it was in the consideration? Because we just did it. I understand that other people. Yes, this is one of the things that this is, this was as an accommodation to all of those 6 villages. I think that's a very critical point.
No,
I do think
with
so.
the money aspect of this, other villages felt the same.
Not all of them.
Not all of them, but others.
Some other things also are giving about discussion on the fine. That's the only reason. The fact is that there are a lot of choices in here that we're doing as an accommodation to the 6 villages.
Well, it's a process of compromise.
And that should be safe.
I think all contracts are like that to some extent. Matt, do you have any comments? So how do you want to state that?
I think it's a process of compromise. You said it's very nice.
Do you want me to state that in
I-
the motion?
Yeah, well, not as a motion.
No,
just as
and
an
then part of, coming up with a motion.
Absolutely.
I don't have a problem with that.
I do think so.
That's fine.
Yeah. All right, then, we've reviewed the memorandum of understanding and also the Copper, Saper, Cohen retainer agreement.
Do you want to waste the council to come back to
I
phrase
do.
the motion? Thank you.
There you go.
Okay. He went to the, I think, to use the facilities. What? I have to tell you that I think that's the discussion that we just had.
What's disappointing is that we work so hard to protect the officers. We work so hard to protect the residents,
I know.
and nobody realizes that.
You mean that it's taken away from my practice 100%?
Nobody wants to keep the cops more than they do. Nobody wants to protect the residents more than they do.
I know. I know. Are you freezing yet?
No, it's nice.
I'm so sorry that I did that to you.
All right, I just want to mention that the memorandum of understanding was reached in a spirit of compromise among the 6 villages. In recognition of that spirit, pleased to make a motion this evening to approve the memo of understanding among the 6 villages. That would include Old Brookville, Brookville, Upper Brookville, Mill Neck, Matinacock, and Cove Neck for the continuation of police services provided.
Mike, can you close the door to Sandy's office, please? No one should really be in there. Thank you.
For the continuation of police services provided by the Old Brookville Police Department from the period June 1st, 2011 through May 31st, 2012. Do I have a second on that motion?
Second.
All those in favor? Thank you. Concurrent with that is the resolution regarding the notice of Old Brookville Police Department restructuring. These were decisions that were made at a Board of Police Commissioners meeting on Saturday. And so this is just a cursory resolution that we're required to do in accordance with the direction of the Board of
That's correct.
Police Commissioners.
Can you explain that, please, sir?
Well, if he's got my own, he's given pass it back.
No, can you explain why we're doing this? It's not our decision, we are, as a
Sure,
contract.
I'd be happy. I did before, but we'll do it again. Again, as has been discussed many, many times tonight, the Board of Trustees, this Board of Trustees of Old Brookville is not responsible for the operation, management, control, or direction of the Old Brookville Police Department. The operation, management, and control of the Old Brookville Police Department is accomplished by a, I like the word Maryland used, consortium of the 6 villages that comprise the Old Brookville Board of Police
This
Commissioners.
is still pursuant to the 7. Yes, yes.
The,
Okay.
no, this is,
Mutton abstained, but they were there.
yes, this was a resolution that was adopted by the, thank you, 7 Village Board of Police Commissioners at its meeting, at its recent meeting, which provided a direction to the Board of Trustees of Old Brookville to provide for the restructuring of the Old Brookville Police Department based upon the maximum budget numbers that we were faced with and based upon, as you said, Mayor, the input of all the consultants and attorneys and everybody else. Do you want me to go through it, or did you want to go through it?
You can go through it.
So the Old Brookville Board of Police Commissioners, vis-a-vis the 7 villages, but really only the 6 villages because Muttontown abstains, provides that the Old Brookville Police Department should be restructured as follows. It should be comprised of 18 police officers, 6 sergeants, 6 police communications operators, 2 typist clerks, no detectives, no detective sergeants, and they also directed Old Brookville to take all appropriate action to obtain all necessary and required authorizations and thereafter proceed with all required procedures to effectuate and implement the restructuring of the department as they have directed. In sum and substance, what that means is that we have to, as you know, Mayor, members of the board, we have to file this plan with the Nassau County Civil Service Commission and receive their analysis of the restructuring. Based upon that, the department would be restructured effective June 1, comprised as stated. However, Mayor, you made the correct point that, you know, if through the negotiations and the collective bargaining negotiations with the PBA, that there's givebacks and other considerations made, then of course this would change. And we're all hoping that it does change between now and June 1st.
So those uncertainties cannot be set out in that resolution.
But we must, under the law, submit this to civil service. And that's the reason that the 7-village Board of Police Commissioners has directed us to adopt this resolution.
All right, Mike, you have any questions on that? Marilyn?
Mr. Mayor?
We're debating the merits of a resolution.
Well, I just have a question.
No, please, no questions at this time.
Just a clarification that all of this information doesn't need to go to civil service right now. It's my understanding that civil service only needs to have a portion of it, correct?
I do not know.
Yes, that's what
All right.
we
No,
did
I
debate.
believe that all of this does,
No, not according to the labor attorney, our labor
I
attorney.
think maybe where the confusion is, this resolution does not include one chief and one administrative officer. That's the part that doesn't have to go to civil service.
Just don't need to do that.
They don't need to be there, that's not in this resolution.
But we don't have to address that with them because they don't.
Not today. There's no action contemplated today, tonight, on the direction from the 6 Villages Board of Police Commissioners. I will say, if for clarification purposes, that the intent is also to have a captain and one administrative personnel, whether it be, one chief and one captain or one lieutenant. But that's not what we're being asked to take action on tonight.
That's not my question.
Well,
My
I-
question, okay,
All of
in speaking
this.
to David Cohen,
All of this goes to the Civil Service
no,
Commission.
in speaking to David Cohen, correct? We spoke to him at length and he said technically, and in the way he originally, this portion does not need to be there. Civil service does not care.
No,
The
the
designation of
detectives-
detectives
that's true.
is a designation that we give,
It's an
and
internal
therefore it's an
designation.
internal designation, so we do not need to forward it to that. So if we are able to save some of the, which is our hope,
What Marilyn is expressing
is that it can be, that
What
can be
Marilyn
done.
is expressing is that this village, and it's important that the residents know, in the spirit of not only compromise, but in having something to move forward with, this is something that has to be done just so you can move forward. But we have been and are continuing to fight very hard to try and get some detectives back, because this village believes that it's important. But we're one of 6, and we are fighting tirelessly to really try and accomplish that. And that's really something that everyone here has to recognize, has to know, and has to understand, is nobody is fighting harder for you or the department than this board. And from that, I guess,
So what I'm saying is that last portion, according to David, does not need to be given to civil services part of the plan.
It's
Because they don't
the flip
care.
side of the same coin, because detectives are police officers in
Right.
the civil service.
It's our internal
So but
designation.
when you're saying 18 police officers to civil service, that includes detectives and no detectives, because it's not a designation of the civil service. I guess this is just a clarification. So that
I
everybody
don't
understands.
know, we're just hoping that,
But I think Matt made a point.
right, and I think that was a very good point.
Anything else?
We need to move that?
Yes, and if there's nothing else, I'd like to make a motion to approve the resolution regarding the notice of the Old Brookville Police Department restructuring, as it was just read to the board by our council. I'd like to have a second on that, please.
I'll second.
All those in favor? Let the clerk know that the resolution passed unanimously.
Mr. Mayor, is there any way to get a copy of this resolution?